It has to reheat up.
Okay. So I see that we have one here in the room, which is a person that filed the first area direct report. And actually, as of today, August, whatever day we are, the deadline of November service has already filed all these reports on the Please help me welcome to the lecture regarding research.
You really want to know that?
Yeah.
I heard some no's.
2 to 5 minutes, right?
Who's the time? Where's the cards? Okay. Okay. I'll be real brief. I have a special situation. I live 25 miles away from my closest club. 40 miles is the second club, and 45 are the other 2 clubs. I live an hour, or I work an hour and a half from where I live. So what I did was I said, I have to maximize my time. I took 2 days of PTO and I did it all. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Area reports, the deadline to file the reports is November 30th, but we need to have done our visits by October, the end of October. So now I have a question for you. What do you think is there in it for you and your clubs if you submit your area reports on time? Your head of time.
There was some kind of incentive, but I don't remember.
Yes, go ahead.
It's part of the area distinguished, won't say club,
The recognition program? Absolutely.
less stress.
Less stress. There's a lot of people that like to do things ahead of time. It's less stressful.
You make more connections early, so you can populate your contests and get people engaged early.
Absolutely. Another benefit that you see?
If you're making recommendations to your clubs have time to respond.
Exactly. If you do it at the end of November, a little bit before Christmas, people are maybe in another mood and they're thinking about other stuff. You do it right now, they have the rest of the Toastmaster year to implement your recommendations. In addition, we do have in this district recognition for the people that file their reports ahead of time. We do file your reports by September 30th or March 31st, 2 months before the deadline. You're going to be recognized on the website. You're going to be recognized at the next DEC meeting. And in addition, you will enter a drawing to win a computer bag. You need to be present to win that. So you benefit the club, you benefit yourself. And let me ask you, who has decided that they want their area to be distinguished? Everybody, right? Is everybody raising their hand? Okay, and the way to do that is by making your value-added recommendations now versus later on. So, can you tell me what you think constitutes a good area visit report? Maybe the first question would be, who has gone on the website and looked at an area report and knows what they look like? So for those of you who may not have done that, let me go to the website and everybody recognizes the District 6 website. First page. Here's what we were talking about earlier about moments of truth. And then over here in the corner, we have the AG resources. I know we did not have David yet. Area governor, AG is the same thing. If you go here, area director, club visit form, that is the document that you can utilize to send to your clubs. and get familiar with the report, ask them to fill the information so that when you go your visit, it's quick. So who has something about what constitutes a good club visit report? Accuracy. Accuracy. What else?
Constructive recommendations.
Instructive recommendations, value-added recommendations, absolutely. What else? Have you received yourself reports being a club leader? What did you like in the reports that you received? Recognition of the things that you did well. Isn't Toastmasters about being positive and focusing on the strength?
Of course, with honesty on the weaknesses, because if everything was whitewashed, then we didn't know how to change it. Like specific, last spring, my club got basically called out that we were not reading our guests, and some of the members didn't even know who the new members were. So immediately, once the president read it, it called a meeting, implemented some changes to fix it.
Yes, I'm hearing here, yes, we need to be positive. At the same time, we need to have constructive comments so that the club can improve. And so the parallel with the evaluation that we are all very familiar with is that definitely you need to focus on the strengths, and at the same time, you need to give the club recommendations for things that they can work on so that they can make progress versus having a blind spot and nobody tells them about it. Any other comments you would like to make about what makes a good area report, a good club visit report?
Details,
Details such as?
specific, not just general, like you had a great, it was a lot of fun, more specific, exactly what you thought was good and bad.
Yeah, so I would say specific details about what they did well so that they can build on it. And at the same time, when you say that areas need to be improved, you can be specific about what the issues are, as well as specific recommendations so that the club can really act on them. And we are now going to talk about 3 reports that have good comments, and I'm going to ask them to read that section. So welcome them.
Thank you, Elena. So some things to remember while we are doing our club visit reports are that a club visit report is similar to an evaluation in the way that this is your opinion of what you felt like when you went to that club. And so you want to give the person that's going to be reading this report an idea of how it feels like coming as a guest or a newer person to the club, and give it the full impression of what they did really good and things that they could have done better, which is pretty much what we've already covered. So we're going to just go through a couple of different club reports here, and so you can get more of an understanding of what is expected on the report. So forgive the format here, it's kind of wanky, but we'll just go through this here. Describe the atmosphere of the meeting. So you want to give the person that's going to be reading this, this goes all the way to TI, down through the trio, and then the division governor, and then our division director, and yourself, and then also the club members, or maybe it's just the officers, get to read it as well. Describe the atmosphere of the meeting. The meeting was held at the Anderson Windows corporate office. The space was prepared, arrived early, and was greeted warmly by the sergeant at arms. Can anyone tell me what's going on here? They're giving details, which we already said. They're giving details of how the meeting was set up, and the room is very spacious. There's a place where the group can display the agenda during the meeting. The meeting started and ended on time, and it was kept on time. Those are things that we want to make sure that we note when we're going to different clubs, to make sure that they understand. Toastmasters kind of puts a priority on that. It's really hard to read when half the stuff is done. So, we'll move right along. Our guests warmly welcome, yes. Our guests given information, I guess, from members, yes. All these questions are answered, yes. Then you can go down. So we want, Toastmasters wants our current branding material, so we want to make sure that we take note of current branding material. So we want to make sure that we note that the banner is currently branded, if the lectern is correctly branded, if the agendas are correctly branded. We want to make sure that we're not using old stuff, but we're keeping current with what's going on. We want to go through and make sure that it's hard to read right now, but we want to make sure that the club goes through and you want to make sure that they have the information beforehand, because then you can have a little bit more background when they ask further down. Well, this is not going really well at all. They're going to ask further down about fellowship, about the membership orientation, about you're going to ask them about how does their club operate, basically. And it covers the same 6 points that we covered earlier today on the moments of truth. Those 6 points, you're going to be grading them, so we went through it earlier today with the moments of truth. Those are the same points you'll be grading them on. So ways that we're going to make it the most for the club and for the trio and for yourselves. So make sure that you write down everything that you feel and see and that's happening. Make sure that you give credit where credit is due. Make sure it's always positive, but also make sure that you give them constructive criticism or ways that they can improve. Are we better now?
Yes.
Awesome. So we'll just go through this one here, so I'm not taking up everybody's time. Step 2, membership orientation. The members are voted in and inducted by a ceremony. So how does the club orient new members? New members are voted in and inducted by ceremony. They're assigned mentors. So think of all the different aspects that we're looking for in moments of truth and make sure that you know those things that they are doing. What does the club do well? Use the displayed agenda. How can the club improve? Engage all members in attendance and participation in each meeting. What can the district and I do to help the club improve? Make sure that you ask them this question, because the district is going to read these things and they want to know, what are we doing that we're doing well, and what can we do to help the club make improvements? So this person said, during my term, the division governor and I met with the HR department and club leadership to discuss the club. This is an excellent opportunity to educate HR, create a relationship between Anderson's HR department and Toastmasters leadership. So they went with the division governor and met with the HR leadership of the company, because this is a corporate club. So those are ways that the district and the district team can help this club improve. Going through fellowship and variety, communication. Oops, so how our meetings made enjoyable, the table topics questions were well done. Just go through the whole meeting, the entire meeting and a theme. Make sure that you comment on that. Toastmaster or table topics master went with the theme, which we know it isn't necessary to, but it's always nice that they do that. Random member or guest was asked to participate, and she did. She was generally supported, clear out of her comfort zone. I could see that she felt she had done something that she was proud of. So when you're at the club and you notice something that is going on that may not happen all the time, the guest may not necessarily participate, but make sure you note that, and whatever you see happen, make sure you take a note of it and provide details so we have a better understanding of how the club is doing. How does the club communicate? The club uses email to communicate. How does the Club Toastmasters International website? Do club members use the virtual portal? The club references TI website. Make sure that you put in there, ask them if they submit their educational awards through the TI website, use it as a reference, however they use TI. Do they participate outside of club meetings? make sure that if they are participating in your contests, if they're going to conferences, conventions, TLIs, make sure that's noted. Membership strength, make sure you go through. They have 20 more members, that's pretty easy to figure out. How does the club promote membership growth? It's a corporate club, they're promoted through work, so make sure if it's a corporate club that you talk about it, so we have an understanding better how the club operates. So they're a corporate club, so it's promoted through work, so they met with the HR reps to promote the club. What does the club do to retain members? Meetings are friendly and well run. Goals are evenly shared in the signs that members are engaged. So does anybody notice something about this report as we're going through? It's very positive. There's a lot of details. It's not one-word answers for the most part. There's some that are not applicable and some that are yes because it's a yes or no question. But they give details. They stay positive. They say the things that the club does well. They also give positive ways for the club to improve. So that's basically what we want to do with our clubs, is make sure that we're being positive and make sure we're providing a constructive criticism.
Thank you. So we are now going to do two exercises. The first one, I'm going to ask that each group here, we may have a little bit too many groups. How about if we merge A and I, and maybe we can merge E and G. Would that work? And I'm going to ask all the groups to think about what is the best way to address in a club visit report an area that needs improvement, an area that may be a little bit delicate. So maybe you can imagine that maybe there's a member that's a little bit rambunctious, or maybe they meet in a horrible place that you really feel it's turning away new guests because they cannot even hear the speakers when they go to this club meeting. Whatever the case may be, imagine a scenario, and then how would you address that situation in an area report? And I'm going to ask three groups to share back what they have come up with. So designate the person that is going to speak to the audience in about 8 minutes. Any question on the assignment?
Have you tried? What about maybe ask the members about their what if they think they can, and it's possible they may not mind what your feedback is, but now they want to get out of the
Unless it's a club you visit regularly, it's so weird. Present your assumption or your thoughts. Probably the committee or the president. Because I was told to not turn in something that would have surprise. So they should know what you're saying. So give them a chance to review especially if you have.
Most common, I agree, that's not common comment. Most common comment that I hear from our, yes, I didn't realize it was so structured.
Right.
Yeah.
So, suggestion, try to get make the positive things. Then on.
Let's see on the this will represent your
Yeah. We don't have my expectation is that a meeting with a guest or guest is different than a regular guest. In that the roles are more fully explained.
Yeah.
May not have nailed it in the head. If possible, the value of your guest.
We have the previous reports that are on already at because I don't know. I'm so bad. Yeah, no, I'm not, because that's that.
Like,
I can see those, yeah, I can see that. You have those, and that's kind of a subjective, they can get about.
Right now, the application.
Yeah, there's something that I went out to, but I don't know.
Like,
I don't know, how did you get to that area director resources?
Yeah, I haven't done that before.
Yeah, I haven't either. I went there to the site, but there's nothing.
So on the top on the left, and I'll show it again, it says AG.
No, it doesn't. I don't, because I even pulled it up on my phone to see if I could see it.
So maybe, I'll show it again.
Is there like a permission that we need?
Yeah.
No permission. Not at all.
Because, yeah, because I put it up here just, see there, if you look here, there's nothing. There's no AD anything on them.
So if you go AG resource here,
Necessarily.
Oh, way up at the top in the gray bar.
yeah.
You might see that.
Yeah, so, sorry, I went too fast on it, but
Well, I'm
I'll go
looking down
back.
in the menu bar down here.
Yeah, so they, yeah, on websites, you can click 100 different places. AG resources, the tab that would help you. I'll show it again.
I can see it now. Because it's like, because I was now looking up on the top bar, I was thinking that there's a menu bar there. I'm just using the menu bars are,
Yeah. I'll show it again. Thank you for sharing the comment.
I don't know if it's my phone or the website, but when I go to the 6 p.m., I see little comments about buying Viagra and buying Cialis.
I don't think it had anything to do with that.
Well, I know, but I don't know. You don't get
There was-
so it
there
might
was-
be my phone that's.
It happened to me. I changed the password on Facebook. That thing went away. There must be some sort of a virus somewhere. Yeah, I had posted one something and it did show up the exact message that you were saying. But if you find something on D6, please do let me know.
So what
and then we do
happened?
it online on the TI website.
Yes.
That's nice.
All right, so I found it. Did you find it, Michelle?
I did.
Yeah, see, it wasn't clear, it didn't stick out.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be on the.
I was looking under resources, I was under resources, I was on all district stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it doesn't stick out.
Thank you for sharing. I'll show it again.
I did maybe put the menu bar.
It looks like links are insurance. Yeah. Yeah, that looks like it's not.
I had my club visits on schedule.
It's a different ballgame. So there is not, structured during the lunch hour. There's no opportunity to hang out. You got it, 5 minutes to get
I've been to
job.
freeze my I haven't heard Zoom.
Our package.
I am not sure finding one.
We don't have that.
Yeah, I had one.
It's the one on
I had the same thing. But no, I've got them on schedule, so I have to get them.
That one I'm saying, and I'm gonna.
I need to.
How do you make
Yeah,
that personal?
I'm doing my home.
I haven't done my home club yet, but I go to their meetings.
Yeah, that's right.
I all.
And then I have, today's the holidays, and
Timber Valley.
and one is on the 25th.
That's what I got to do.
They meet on Thursday, and my Thursday, they have things going on, you know,
Hand out to more
I've got,
I agree.
You know, it depends on.
security conferences,
Yeah.
Thursday, before I
The one that we, my home club. We do have some. I think I have 3 at the same time. So area. Okay, you ready to report back? No. But.
Yeah. Yes?
Yeah, I think we're good. They could be. So trying out.
That's really awesome. Be positive.
I think I really like what you said about asking the questions or view of it. They already see it as an issue, they may just not. That's a great way to start.
Opportunities for.
Here to address the area.
Not theoretical.
You don't want to put out everything.
How
It's overwhelming.
you know, instead of just saying, reach your numbers, give us some practical examples of how they.
And you can find out what their goals are. I like to create more.
Gotta be in line with.
Are you ready to report back?
And yeah, just be offer suggestions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
specific examples.
I don't think you know
In fact,
No.
you don't really do what's wrong at all.
Exactly.
What you do is put in the recommendation.
Yes.
I think you want to provide. Set up, I saw this, you were mad. This might improve your quality and whatever it is. I agree.
Okay, minutes go last. And I'm going to ask Division F would be willing to share.
That's what I've heard.
You're right. Say, what did they do wrong?
Okay, we had a lot of great discussion at our meeting on these things. Even in the past, one thing was the meeting place. And at times, it's difficult if you're meeting on the 19th floor of a professional medical building and there is no signage. You have to walk through a patient area to get there. How do you, and then you ask the members of the club, what's wrong? And they say, nothing. This is a great place. Well, yeah, for you guys. So you have to be kind of sensitive. My point is you have to be kind of sensitive with how you handle that and ask them questions to find out what kinds of ideas they may have to that particular solution. Another one, on one of my club visits, real quick. A member who had been with the club maybe a month gave his very first icebreaker speech. None of the members clapped. That's always supposed to be encouragement for another speech. You get that done? You did a great job. I made sure that they knew about that. I put it in my club visit report as well. So I hope I don't see that happening again. Without being offended, you have to take it in a sensitive and positive light. This is a way to improve the club, to encourage this member to come back and speak again, just like we do in our postmaster evaluations as well. You have to take that positive approach.
we're now going to the right side of the room, and we're going to ask our Division A if they want to tell us how they think they could communicate in the best way possible sensitive topics where they would like the club to improve on.
Probably the most common problem a lot of us see is a club that's just too small. And we come in and we don't understand exactly why. It could be a rural club that has trouble with distance. But what we said is we don't want to really come in and tell them, here's how you need to fix this problem. And we don't want to just say you have a problem. We want to first talk about what was good. You have good energy. You had these roles covered. You doubled your roles and made everything covered. However, and it's the big however, your club really could benefit from having more members in it. So perhaps you as a club could take one of your meetings and brainstorm on how to get more members. Or you could use one of the leadership modules that talk about increasing membership. But to put the problem in their hands to find their own solution and not try to tell them exactly what to do in an environment that maybe not completely understand.
Make a comment about we cannot dictate how they need to address things, but we can definitely help with some solutions. And I'm going to go back and ask the Division J how they would address difficult issues in an area report.
Well, thank you. One of the things that we talked about was that when you're giving suggestions to a club or you notice an area where they're not perhaps doing as well as they could, is give them a range of suggestions of how they could improve and also point them to resources. So rather than just say, well, you're doing really poorly at your speech contest, say, I noticed that you didn't have a script for your speech contest. It was a little disorganized. I have a script I can provide you with, and here are some links on the Toastmasters website so that next time you have more resources at your disposal.
Do we have any comment here that we would like to share?
Well, evaluation is really what Toastmasters is all about, and this is one more opportunity to give feedback. So it's really like if someone gives a speech that is really not very good and you need to address it, I mean, you need to be honest, you need to talk about the situation, don't ignore it, don't put it under the rug. But again, accentuate positive, give resources, give suggestions. But it's really part of evaluation, which is core to Toastmasters.
Now we are going to do another exercise. So I would like you to see it within your groups. And now we are going to talk about value-added comments for the 6 areas that are utilized for the club visit reports as well as moments of truth. Toastmasters has done the work for us where we now have a list of the main 6 areas with a lot of sub-areas of what constitutes a good club. If the clubs do the 6 areas well, they're going to be successful and they're going to help their members develop their communication leadership skills, and that is what we are all about. So I am going to designate a topic per group. I am going to ask group B to take the first area, first impressions. I am going to ask group D to take program planning and meeting organization. Group C to take membership orientation. Group H will take membership strength. G and E, I'm going to ask you to do fellowship, variety, and communication. And then I'm going to have F doing achievement recognition. And because membership strength is so crucial, I'm going to ask Group J to focus on membership strengths as well. So I'm going to give you 8 minutes to give some concrete examples about what value-added comments you can make in the areas. So if you think about clubs that you have already visited, or maybe your home club, what would be some examples of concrete value-added comments that you would like to share with the audience today, so that you can utilize these examples to beef up your club visit reports and make sure that they have a lot of content, that they are solid, and that can really be used by the club to make significant improvements.
Right. Since in this group, A and I, we will take recognition.
I apologize, and I will give you achievement recognition. So 8 minutes, and that is going to be at 12. 4, 12 to 12.
How parents
My work is good.
We really do that.
You don't have two speeches or two speakers. Ready to go for someone to step in and get like one or two pieces. It's already a PowerPoint to use. It's basically, yeah, there's now that.
There's one mission after your success, you can hold those because you're ready for them.
I always thought exactly.
You can speak all you want, you can be very extroverted, very confident. You have to tell it.
Just have a clarification.
I would say that.
This is a question from a perspective about what you, as the area director or the district, do in order to help the club. So, for example, are you know, how you can provide help with speechcraft, or how you can provide help providing them examples of guest package, how you can provide them examples about different agendas, or how you can help them schedule different speakers, how you can open house. So you can answer from the perspective of how can the district and I help.
Within my area, my plan would be, especially I haven't done it yet, so it would be, you know, I've got some more senior clubs, and I've got at least 2 charter jobs. Once present, we have a need to present the senior clubs, those sessions, and we need to have a need to hear from the more senior clubs. So I need to have somehow a speakers bureau type of thing. Just like, you know, for mentoring, you need a list of mentors, and a list of mentees. So you can match them up. Same thing. I need to know who needs to give these, and then offer them to them. Make that a reason. Kind of. I need to know who wants to present. For evaluation, to me, most role in most clubs meeting, you know, that, yeah, we started at time, yeah, we ended at time, it was good, it was good, it was good, they had a checklist. Absolutely worthless. So the general evaluator should, you know, they say, well, how do we get better at evaluation? Evaluate the evaluation, that's how you do it. And yeah, so, yes, exactly. They should not evaluate Toastmasters International. I brought that up, and they said, well, they do if whitewash or if it's invalid feedback, they can correct the ways. But otherwise, you just evaluate the evaluator.
That's an issue.
What have you done? And then an evaluation, the main way to do an evaluation, evaluation time is what I saw, what I heard, how I felt, what I observed in the audience, and this is how it made me feel. So that it's owned by the evaluator.
PR campaign where they go out and they try to publicize the product division and say, hey, this is what's on, or at least just have an open house. We can't do much, you know, come hang out and see what we're on here. And then that's your opportunity to open the door and sell it to
Another thing is they develop those tactics of the first evaluation. We can have the club get those and photocopy them. And that way, when somebody shows up without their manual, or they show up and want to give the speech and they don't know what manual they want to use, you say, okay, if you want to use focus, give it to them, but always have those evaluations.
It's more, everybody's working for that might not be the same. It's more casual. Does that make sense?
I don't need to know.
You know, I know my focus with my kids is more on career advancement, right?
We put them out.
I really like the idea of getting managed.
Another one is the way I promote
we don't. I think maybe in a few places they are
where they are told always read the manual and
we did that corporate wide. We needed to do it.
read it.
When I did it initially, Eric and I, but it started from
The reason is it's
doing
like
that
you better coach that and make you love that. It's all this right there for them.
and it was an opportunity to learn advocacy, what we're meant to see. So by doing that, they want to see the house, got our support, then I, paper, so then it just started a whole evolution. You know, and so now it is part of our corporate policy development. And some of it is less than $100 a year.
That's their chance that, it's
And it's not just true in brand new clubs. You have norms that form with older members or veteran members that they, and it becomes this is the way we've always done it that way. We don't want to do it that way because it's not amended here. So you can make it more like Toastmaster reason of a meeting. Like I said,
annual reviews. It's great when you have that would be another way to sell it. Sharing the cost of other training, other
That's how we sold it.
Okay, the time has now passed, and we are going to have Division B share 3 comments that are value added, and that we can all utilize for our area director club visit reports.
So a few things that we talked about is For example, a lot of times clubs don't greet new members or greet their existing members or guests consistently. And so we could say, it might be helpful to designate somebody in your club to make sure that there's always somebody there to greet those new members, existing members or guests. Or you could introduce them to a buddy that helps them out throughout the first meeting. A second one is providing examples of different, whether it's an agenda or how you might run your meeting, and then talk about the pros and cons. So we talked about an example of how different clubs run their meetings with evaluations and speeches. And we were able to talk about, here's what I like about it for my club, and here's what I don't like about it. And here's another club I saw which had a totally different approach. And here's the pros and cons of that one. Let the club make the decision about what's best, but share with them as many pros and cons as possible. And then thirdly, we talked about resources for guest packets and Toastmasters. So acknowledging Toastmasters as guests in your club is different than acknowledging new guests that are not familiar with Toastmasters. And consider how you might approach that differently as guests come in. Okay, thank you.
We are now going to have Division D share 2 or 3 added value comments on program planning and meeting organization. Here we go, Monty.
Thank you. I'm Monty Justin from Area 31. We had several. The one we said was if you expect to have 2 speeches and you only have 1, there should be a club officer with one of the club success series in their pocket, ready to give something that adds value to the club, gets them credit, and you have 2 speeches. Another one was not just bring your CL manuals, but read them beforehand and then hand it off. Because one, it improves the Toastmaster himself, but it much improves the Toastmasters Club. It gets everyone on the same sheet of music. And the third one is kind of the general evaluators that I've seen in many clubs don't really do very much. They have a checklist and say, yeah, we started on time, we had a good meeting, it was fun, we ended on time, and it doesn't add very much value. So in order to prove in the evaluation, the suggestion would be that the general evaluator focus on the evaluations themselves, evaluating that, and maybe introductions or transitions by the Toastmaster. And in particular, don't evaluate the speeches again. Thank you.
I like that. We now have Division C, who's going to give us 2 or 3 examples of membership orientation.
Okay, thank you. First of all, it would be great to provide a new or an example of a guest or member packet so people can learn more about Toastmasters. For instance, at one of my clubs, they give out a CC manual. So I could tell them, hey, I noticed you do a CC manual to your new members. It's great. Here's some other ways that you can get a new member more familiar with Toastmasters. Another example is what Lance Miller went over at Telly, for those of you who were there. And that was an example of how to assign orientation roles to new members. So giving that speech over the abridged version of the speech, saying, you have your new member, direct them to the Vice President of Membership to help them become an official member, then to direct them to the VPE to help them meet their educational goals. And then we can also talk about Toastmasters during speechcraft and youth leadership, so that kind of goes hand in hand with membership strength. So you could encourage clubs too, when they hold those events, say, this is how Toastmasters works, these are the different member roles, this is how a meeting goes, and that will pretty much introduce them to the culture of Toastmasters.
And the comment about as the area director, you can share resources that are available at Toastmasters. We are now going to go to Division J. Division J, can you please share 2 or 3 comments on how, as the area director or as a district, we can help the club with their membership strength?
I got the short straw again. one of the suggestions we have is that oftentimes clubs are not aware of the resources that the district has available to them, and so that you can highlight both what's available. And then, for instance, the various membership award contests, many clubs are not aware of them or the benefit in participating in them, so that could be a value added. The other thing is we feel that encouraging clubs to find ways to utilize their more experienced members so they don't get bored and drop out. So encourage them to serve as mentors. If you have a really big club and there aren't enough roles for everybody, to create some new roles, greeter, joke master, so that the more experienced members don't feel like, well, I'm just coming and I'm sitting, I have nothing to do. And then to host club events to retain interest in coming to the club that are not just your standard meeting. So you can have open houses, celebrations, picnics, bring in outside speakers, for instance.
Help by, for example, sending a seasoned speaker that can give, for example, in a company, a very good speech, and that would entice people to join Toastmasters so they can reach the level of the speaker that you're exhibiting. I'm going to ask Division H if they would share one comment, one value-added comment about what you can do as an area director or what the district can do in order to help the club with, again, membership strength.
Well, we are located in downtown Minneapolis with our division, so we have a lot of corporate clubs. And one thing that has been successful for a few clubs is generating buy-in with our corporate entities to have Toastmasters become part of performance for people's jobs. And that really helps build membership because you have a pipeline to have new members coming in pretty regularly. And also members' bosses supporting that because they understand the value that Toastmasters brings. So really finding out what the goals of your club is and your members, what they're generally here in Toastmasters, people in Division H are there for career advancement. And so how can we tie our clubs with that for our members?
Thank you. And we are now going to have Divisions G and E share with us what the district or the area director can do in order to help the club with fellowship, variety, and community.
All right, this is a big one. We have a lot. We had a lot of ideas, a lot of talking about ways we can do. We help with each one of these. At a club level, we want to encourage clubs to have outside events besides just their meetings, like we were talking about before, having a golf outing or just a happy hour somewhere. But also doing that at an area level and even maybe a division level, having all the clubs come together, or as many members that can come, and have some kind of party or something like that. Along the lines of communication, we talked about getting pictures out there onto their website, onto Free Toast Host if they have that, but also being aware that some corporate clubs might not be able to allow them to take pictures on that site, which is another reason to have events outside of club meetings. We also definitely talked about the Golden Gavel, which is another great way for people to go out and see other clubs and meet other people within Toastmasters International. Since we're such a big organization, a lot of us don't get outside of our club or our area or our division, but going all around the state or even around the country and the world just to see what other clubs do.
The egg is definitely an example of a tool that the district has developed that is helping the club and engaging them. It's a very good example. We are now going to go to Division F. And Division F, can you give me 2 examples of value-added comment about what you can do as an area division, an area director, or as a district to help the club? What can they both do to help them. Thank you very much. What we talked about here is that as area director or a division director, you can give specific comments to the club on what they've done well. And by researching their previous accomplishments, you can make note of those and tell them about their previous accomplishments, and also maybe some suggestions on how they can build on those accomplishments to make them a better club. We also said that you can post reports of people's progress, and you can do that multiple ways. Online, in newsletters, websites, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and this can be for the whole club as an accomplishment or individual member accomplishments. And lastly, in one of our clubs, we have a section at the end of the meeting that is comments for the good of the club. And during this section, if there's any member in that club that has performed a role for the first time, that member is applauded for performing that role, and the person who has mentored them is also applauded. In addition, if the member is finishing a manual or has reached an educational goal, immediately that member is applauded at that club meeting for having met that goal. And we are now going to go to division A and J, and I'm going to, and I. I'm going to ask you for one comment about a value-added comment about how the area director or the district can help.
Well, we talked about a number of different ways, but I think one of them that we emphasized was encouraging recognition when people reach awards with a letter or some kind of a note. And there's the possibility, I think, of providing that kind of a note from an area director level, being aware of achievements that are achieved. And either provide a letter or actually, during a visit, make that kind of recognition to the people who have achieved CC.
We are now going to conclude by briefly going back to the DEC's website as per a request that I just received. So I'm going to show you the path, if I can. So here's the D6 website. All the items at the top are menu drop down, and you can click on them, as well as some over here, and then below as well. Where you can go as an area director is at the bottom, at the top left, AG resources, and I would invite you to just explore and see what's out there. For your area, for your club visit reports, you need to file them online on the toastmasters.org website. Unfortunately, I do not have the right access, so I cannot show you what that looks like. But if you have issues about filling your report, you can call Toastmasters. Again, I showed a comment a meeting ago about how helpful they are. They have the best help desk you can ever work with, and they will help you. A suggestion that was shared last time as well is you can fill your report in a Word document or in Excel, and then you can copy and paste into the Toastmasters International website. So when the system times out on you or whenever it seems to not work the best way, you have not lost all the work that you have done. You have really lost the copy and paste. A couple of recommendations: save often. And number two, start early, because sometimes it doesn't work the way you want. And we don't want you to spend the night of November service trying to fill your reports at the last minute. Plus, our leaders are going to appreciate not receiving 100 reports the last day. Okay? So, again, ahead of time, please do not forget that you will be recognized here and on the website. If you file your reports 2 months in advance of the deadline, make sure that you stay positive and that you have value-added comments. And as Mary told us earlier today, if there is a real issue with a club, just pick up the phone, send a text, send an email, get the leaders of the district involved right away so that they can act and utilize all the resources that are available in order to save lives. And with that, thank you very much for all that you do for Toastmasters. And I think, bon appétit.